In a dramatic and unseasonal turn of events, Storm Floris has unleashed its fury across the British Isles, battering England, Ireland, and Scotland with winds reaching up to 122 miles per hour, torrential rains, and widespread infrastructural chaos. The storm, which formed rapidly over the Atlantic and intensified as it crossed a powerful jet stream, has been described by meteorologists as one of the most violent summer storms in recent UK history. Storm Floris originated as a low-pressure system off the eastern coast of North America. As it traveled eastward, it collided with a powerful jet stream and exited on its cold side, a notorious breeding ground for cyclonic intensification. The Met Office issued amber and yellow wind warnings across vast swaths of the UK, including Northern Ireland, Northern England, Wales, and nearly all of Scotland, warning of flying debris, large waves, and potential danger to life. Storm Floris is likely to bring a spell of weather not usually associated with the height of summer, said Joe Wheeler, Sky News weather presenter. Scotland bore the brunt of Floris's wrath. Gusts exceeding 90 miles per hour swept across the Highlands and coastal regions, toppling trees, damaging power lines, and forcing the closure of major bridges, including the A9 Dornoch Bridge and the A1 Tyne Bridge. Network Rail Scotland reported widespread damage to overhead wires and tracks. Services north of Glasgow and Edinburgh were suspended, with fallen trees blocking lines near Stirling and East Renfrewshire. The Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, a highlight of the city's summer festival season, was forced to cancel its Monday performance due to safety concerns. Authorities urged residents to secure garden equipment and trampolines to prevent them from becoming airborne hazards. Scottish Justice Secretary Angela Constance emphasized the seriousness of the situation. It is imperative that people follow advice and treat this as a winter journey. Warm clothes, food, water, and a charged mobile phone could be life-saving. In northern England, particularly Yorkshire, Humber, and Northumberland, Storm Floris brought down trees, flooded roads, and disrupted daily life. Transport disruption. Train operators LNER and Avanti West Coast issued do not travel advisories for routes north of Newcastle and Preston, respectively. In Gateshead, a tree crashed onto a parked car on Alexandra Road, narrowly missing pedestrians. Filming for Spider-Man, Brand New Day in Glasgow, featuring actor Tom Holland, was halted due to high winds threatening the safety of the set and crew. Despite the chaos, emergency services responded swiftly, clearing debris and assisting stranded motorists. Local councils activated emergency shelters for those affected by power outages and flooding. Northern Ireland and parts of the Republic of Ireland were not spared. Coastal towns such as Bangor, Derry, and Galway experienced intense wind gusts and heavy rainfall. Over 10,000 homes were left without electricity as power lines succumbed to the storm's force. Cross-channel ferry services between Ireland and Scotland were suspended, stranding hundreds of passengers. The Irish Meteorological Service issued warnings for coastal flooding and advised residents to avoid seafronts and low-lying areas. In Dublin, emergency crews worked through the night to clear fallen trees from major roads, while sandbags were distributed in flood-prone neighborhoods. The Caledonian sleeper train linking London to the Scottish Highlands was cancelled, and passengers were advised to rebook for later dates. Tourism-dependent regions like Edinburgh, Glasgow, and Dublin face millions in lost revenue due to event cancellations and travel disruptions. Local governments activated emergency protocols, opened shelters, and coordinated with national agencies to ensure public safety. Experts warn that such unseasonal storms may become more frequent due to shifting climate patterns. This is the fourth August storm in 3 years, noted a meteorologist, referencing storms Lillian, Anthony, and Betty from previous summers. Meanwhile, a woman struggles with her umbrella in Birmingham, nearly lifted off her feet by the wind. A windsurfer braves the choppy waters off Troon Beach, Scotland, silhouetted against a grey, turbulent sky. Props from the Spider-Man set are hastily covered as crew members scramble to protect equipment from the rain. Emergency workers chainsaw a fallen tree in Blyth, Northumberland, clearing the road for ambulances. Residents across the Isles shared their experiences. "It felt like the roof was going to lift off," said Margaret Donnelly, a retiree in Aberdeen. "We've had storms before, but never like this in August. I had to cancel my trip to Edinburgh Fringe," lamented James O'Connor, a tourist from Cork. "It's disappointing, but safety comes first." Meanwhile, the Met Office said a gust of 106 miles per hour had been recorded on A9 Moor, a mountain in the Highlands with an altitude of 1,130 meters. On exposed coasts, wind speeds of up to 90 miles per hour are expected and up to 70 miles per hour elsewhere. Storm Floris was the UK's sixth named storm of the 2024-25 season and the first since Storm Eowyn in January. ScotRail said there would be a blanket 50 miles per hour speed restriction and many services would stop at midday. Posting on social media, the rail operator asked people who lived near railway lines to tie down garden furniture and trampolines because of the danger of them blowing onto tracks. The fourth bridge was closed to double-decker buses, motorcyclists and pedestrians, and many other bridges were closed to high-sided vehicles. In Newcastle, the Tyne Bridge was closed to all traffic because of the wind. A number of camper vans were blown over on the A87 road, which leads to Portree on the Isle of Skye. Monday's performance of the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo was cancelled, the first time in its 75 years history that it has not gone ahead because of the weather. A swathe of Edinburgh Fringe events were also cancelled, with the Pleasance Courtyard and the Pleasance Plaza both closed until 6 p.m. Floris is the strongest named storm to have taken place in the month of August so far. Since the naming process was started in 2015, there have been 5 such storms in August. The Met Office forecaster Peter Sloss told BBC Radio Scotland it represented uncharted territory. Dr. Jess Newman, Associate Professor of Hydrology at the University of Reading, said summer storms came with added dangers. She said, "There is a potential danger to life as Storm Floris is due to hit during peak summer holiday time when people may be traveling or visiting unfamiliar places outside of their usual area. When the unexpected hits, that's when people are the least prepared and most at risk." There were reports of fallen trees on roads and rail lines across the affected area, as well as a number of power cuts in Northern Ireland and Scotland. The Met Office's chief meteorologist, Matthew Leonard, said, "Across the warning area, many inland areas are likely to see gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, with 60 to 70 miles per hour more likely at higher elevations and around exposed coasts in Scotland. There is a small chance that some locations here could even record gusts of 85 miles per hour." The strongest winds were likely to affect Scotland on Monday afternoon and night, but there was some uncertainty over the depth and track of Floris, a spokesperson added. Leonard said, "Winds will first ease in the west during later Monday, but remaining very strong overnight until early Tuesday in the east. Heavy rain may also contribute to the disruption in places."